Win now. The number one secret ingredient to instant success in any area of your life. By D.R. Fortune. Narrated by J. Spalding. Introduction. Success is a subject we all debate and try to figure out just how to have it, how to keep it, and how to sustain it. In my own pursuit of success, I began asking myself pertinent questions, like, why do some people succeed more than others? Why do we settle for mediocrity? And what does it really take to attract success? These questions began to work their way into my subconscious mind for processing. And it was there, in the sanctuary of my mind, that I stumbled on the one key ingredient as to why men and women repel or attract success. We have all been given an asset that no human has been able to replicate, and it is still daunting that most people go through life never fully realizing its potentials. It's like having $1 million in the bank and still living in poverty. Like having a reservoir of water and yet complaining of thirst. Like having the key to unlock all our greatest desires and never use it or even appreciate its real capabilities. All men were created equal, yet all men do not attain the same level of success. In fact, most men never attain any significant success. So, what's this one key ingredient that causes us to achieve greatness? What is the one key ingredient that determines our level of success? Our minds. Yes, our minds. The very brain God created has the potential to give anyone his or her desired level of success. Our thinking has a profound direct influence on what we do and even how we do things. If we can only believe it, we can achieve it. Why? Because, simply put, if we think we cannot, then we will not. But if we think it is possible, then indeed it is not only possible, but inevitable. The ways we think dictate our life experiences, but are never absolute. We must learn to control what goes on in the faculty of our minds to accomplish anything worthy. The mind is the control tower for the body, the engine of the soul, the central processing station for all our actions, and the focal point for all our decisions. Our thoughts, however, are not set in stone, and therefore require work, stimulation, and exercise for peak performance that leads to ultimate success. Just like we learn to walk and speak, we can also learn to control our thinking and control our degree of success. This intricate machinery controls all our bodily functions, while at the same time transmuting whatever we supply it most into a concrete equivalent. Like a computer, our minds feed us with the stimuli we input and then later request. According to Napoleon Hill in his classic Think and Grow Rich, everything which man creates begins in the form of a thought impulse. Man can create nothing which he does not first conceive in thought. These thought impulses, coupled with desire and imagination under control, creates the necessary plans or purposes that lead to success in one's life pursuits. Why change is tough, and what to do about it. Everybody wants to change the world, but nobody wants to change. Genta Pushka. Change is a necessity of life, and should be as natural as breathing in and out. Yet, it is not always easy to change your focus and look at the roses instead of the thorns. In reality, change is not readily embraced by most, and can be downright difficult to accomplish. Perhaps the most daunting thing to reconcile within the human psyche is why many people do not change when they need to. This cognitive dissonance can almost be maddening, considering a person can be very educated, maybe even considered wise, yet lack the discipline, will, and fortitude to change, when change is deemed necessary and inevitable. For example, students are given ample time to complete an assignment, know that they should complete it, yet most of the time will wait until the very last moments to finish the assignment. Many people know smoking is bad, yet even doctors smoke, despite the Surgeon General's warning printed on each carton. The populace generally knows it needs regular exercise, yet as a nation, we struggle with obesity and chronic sedentary lifestyle-related and preventable diseases. In fact, in his best-selling book, Change or Die, Alan Deutschman asks the poignant question, could you change when change matters most? He asserts that most people rarely ever change their behavior, although we all have the ability to do so. Additionally, Deutschman found that as much as 90% of patients suffering from heart disease do not change their lifestyles even when given the pronouncement, change or die. A similar trend is found, whether it be repeat offenders for crimes in the justice system, marriages headed for disaster, or businesses that choose to cling to their outdated models and systems in the face of data that says they are failing miserably. The foremost authority on the topic of change, John P. Cotter, the Konosuke Matsushita Professor of Leadership, Emeritus at Harvard, and author of 12 bestsellers, tackles this side of organizational challenges to change in his book, Leading Change. Religion is not immune from this paradox either. The Judeo-Christian world wrestles with the dichotomy between what's preached and what's actually practiced. Imagine being taught of God, for whom nothing is impossible, yet many adherents of such creeds find grave difficulty changing habits and behaviors that are opposed to what they believe to be true. They are frustrated in their prayer life because what they experience in reality is different from what they read in the sacred scriptures. The Hebrew scholar Saul of Tarsus postulates on this dilemma in the 7th chapter of his epistle to the Romans, chapter 7, verse 15, 19, and 24, where he wrote, "For what I am doing, I do not understand. For what I will to do, that I do not practice. But what I hate, that I do. For the good that I will to do, I do not do. But the evil I will not to do, that I practice. O wretched man that I am, who will deliver me from this body of death?" There may be, no doubt, various solutions to this reality. However, one that most clearly gets to the heart of the issue is an indirect application of Jean-Jacques Rousseau's famous statement in The Social Contract. Man is born free, but he is everywhere in chains. The strongest chains that bind humanity are those of their own minds. Mortimer J. Adler said, "Freedom is the emancipation from the arbitrary rule of other men." Yet, who will free a man or woman of the debilitating imaginings of their own mind? On the other hand, Adler also noted, true freedom is impossible without a mind made free by discipline. The legendary reggae singer and songwriter Bob Marley captures this sentiment in his classic hit Redemption Song, where he wrote, "Emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds." If, indeed, every organ of the body was made to be servant to the mind, and the mind is the capital of the body, then author, pioneer, and health reformer of yesteryear, E.G. White, had it right when she said, "The mind controls the whole man. All our actions, good or bad, have their source in the mind. It is the mind that worships God and allies us to heavenly beings. Yet many spend all their lives without becoming intelligent in regard to the casket, jewel case, that contains this treasure." She did not stop there, but noted that far too little thought is given to the causes underlying the mortality, the disease, and degeneracy that exist today even in the most civilized and favored lands. Her belief, which has been confirmed by modern scientific journals, and is similar to Deutschmann's findings, is that 9/10 of the diseases from which men suffer have their foundation in the mind and the way they think. Perhaps, she argued, some trouble is like a canker, eating to the very soul and weakening the life forces. Remorse for sin sometimes undermines the constitution and unbalances the mind. There are erroneous doctrines also, as that of an eternally burning hell and the endless torment of the wicked, that, by giving exaggerated and distorted views of the character of God, have produced the same result upon sensitive minds. To borrow from the U.S. Navy's core values, it will take honor, courage, and commitment to look more closely at the effects of mental belief and conditioning upon our behaviors and habits. This could provide great positive results for change, success, and winning the game of life in every area, at a much deeper cost than dispensing, primarily, more drugs and ineffective treatments. What if the masses can find liberation by simply addressing their mindsets and internal stories? Religionists can then do more than pray for healing and deliverance, and actually be healed or delivered from maladies of the mind, body, soul, and others of an emotional or psychosomatic nature. I'm as hopeful on this concept as Aristotle, who once said, "You will never do anything in this world without courage. It is the greatest quality of the mind, next to honor." Belief systems. You must be the change you want to see in the world. Mahatma Gandhi. In order to strive for excellence, success, and mastery in life, we need to examine our belief systems. These consist of our core values and associations that shape our lives. Because the mind does not differentiate between beliefs that are beneficial and those that are destructive, it behooves us to develop a belief system that surrounds our ultimate life values and desires. Our mind will accept whatever we provide it and translate our dominant thoughts into actions that will shape our characters. Depending on our beliefs, success will be ours for the taking, or something we tirelessly covet. Some people's beliefs include all the negativity, doubts, and fears that will always hold them back. It is ludicrous to desire success while we focus on negativity, and equally insane to expect greatness while our thoughts and actions are contrary to significant achievements. For example, we cannot have values, beliefs, of drugs, immorality, cheating, and the like, while craving a successful marriage, business, or church. We must first change our belief systems, thus changing the causes for mediocrity, and not just hope for excellence, but change the effects of currently held values. Psychologist Leon Festinger, 1957, proposed the theory of cognitive dissonance, which says people are usually motivated to reduce or avoid psychological inconsistencies. In his book, The Psychology of Judgment and Decision-Making, Dr. Scott Plous noted that people experience cognitive dissonance when they simultaneously hold two thoughts that are psychologically inconsistent, i.e., thoughts that feel contradictory or incompatible in some way. The mind will not tolerate this kind of discord, so it cannot possibly formulate actions that lead to a successful life when it only receives defeating impetus. Our belief system develops over a period of time, but some childhood beliefs never change as we grow older, and most severely sabotage our future happiness. Some people cleave to limiting beliefs about death, sickness, old age, poverty, and love that are a direct result of past experiences and cannot break the cycle of misery. These emotional links are clearly explained in the book by Jim Hartness and Neil Escalin, The 24-Hour Turnaround. These men advise recognizing our beliefs for what they are, both good and bad. Cherishing despondency and any beliefs associated with such emotions causes the psyche to be the controlling force and the body to respond accordingly. Negative emotions affect our immune system and could transform the very fears we have about sickness, death, and old age into reality. Success will soar with wings of eagles away from the person who does not curtail his belief system to trust, courage, faith, love, and positive attitudes that promote a life of success. Whoever believes in me should not abide in darkness. John chapter 12, verse 46. If we would reach significance, we must change the beliefs we cherish. We must have a meaningful belief system. The power of decisions. You cannot make progress without making decisions. Jim Rohn. It is said that the most important thing we can do is to make the right decisions. Success at any level requires the ability to make sound decisions, because our entire future will be influenced by the decisions and choices we make today. Our destiny is not determined by our circumstances, but the choices and decisions we make every day. It is as certain that empowering decisions will bring success as that poor decisions will lead to failure and even total ruin. We make decisions based on our will and choices, and these choices come directly from the data we have stored in our minds. White states it candidly in her book, Mind, Character, and Personality, page 549. You cannot control your impulses, fed to your mind, your emotions, as you may desire, but you can control the will, and you can make an entire change in your life. Let no one say, I cannot remedy my defects of character. If you come to this decision, you will certainly fail of obtaining everlasting life and any success. The impossibility lies in your own will. If you will not, then you cannot overcome. One may reluctantly ask, how can decisions prevent me from attaining my desired success? The law of repetition says that whatever we repeatedly do becomes habit. Habits develop from actions and words that are continuously processed by the brain and stored in our subconscious minds. They are so embedded in our minds, they become second nature. When we routinely make weak decisions, we will always encounter problems, failures, and disasters. On the other hand, consistently making firm decisions will lead to definite success, even if they may be progressive. Nothing happens without a decision to change, and we are the product of our decisions. In his book, The Psychology of Judgment and Decision-Making, psychologist Scott Plous observed that we make decisions based on our perceptions. Even when something is right before our eyes, we find it difficult to view it without preconceived notions. As a result, it is somewhat impossible for us to avoid biases in perception, and these could tarnish our decisions. The doctor further noted that before we make an important judgment or decision, it often pays to pause and observe the many cognitive and motivational factors that lead to biases in perception. A tranquil, trained, and pure mind will enable us to perceive circumstances for what they really are, and thus lead us to make confident decisions and assure our success. No one knows the value of this truth more clearly than our Heavenly Father himself. The Word of God states in Proverbs chapter 2, verse 9, He shows how to distinguish right from wrong, how to find the right decision every time. Now, bask in this tidbit of wisdom for success. Procrastination and the mind. Whatever you want to do it now. There are only so many tomorrows. Michael Landon. Procrastination is without a doubt one of the most common causes of failure. It spoils our chances of success. It is the deliberate deferment of important actions and is generally always destructive. Most people go through life as failures because they are waiting for the time to be right, the right opportunity, before doing something worthwhile. We ought not to wait. The time will never be just right or just perfect. So we must begin wherever we are and use the tools available to us, and success will be found along the way. Napoleon Hill said, "Procrastination, the opposite of decision, is a common enemy which every man must conquer in order to be successful." It may not mean we do nothing, but we rather choose to do things that are easy and of low priority, when we should really be doing high-priority tasks. This habit cannot go unchecked. It must be broken, because it can possibly demolish our careers and render us inadequate. The first place to start is upstairs, in the faculty of our minds, because it is here that habits are formed. In his book, Finding 100 Extra Minutes a Day, Tony Geary explains that the root problem for procrastination is ineffective thinking. When we think ineffectively, we do things to avoid discomfort. We also put things off because it's a habit and much easier to deal with later. Or so we think. When it comes to succeeding, this type of thinking is inefficient because success begins now. Our thinking greatly affects procrastination because our dominant thoughts control us. The more we procrastinate, the more natural it becomes, and our brain gives us automatic responses to delay actions, which could cost us dearly, even success itself. Again, our perceptions can cause us to procrastinate. We avoid difficult tasks because they seem overwhelming. But if we diminish the apparent complexity, they would no longer appear difficult. George S. Clayson's book, The Richest Man in Babylon, calls the procrastinator the one who puts off doing those things that are mighty good for him. This book clearly shows how procrastination annihilates success because we miss opportunities when they come. We wait and hope and say we just don't have enough time. The spirit of procrastination is in all of us and urges us to delay accepting opportunities when they appear. Heeding its voice, we indeed, slowly maybe, could possibly become our worst enemies. Opportunities will come to all men, but hesitating and faltering will cause us to fall behind. Clayson clearly warns, no man can arrive at a full measure of success until he hath completely crushed the spirit of procrastination within him. Pain and pleasure principle. The only pain in pleasure is the pleasure of the pain. Anne Rice. The journey to success often requires men and women to make changes in their lifestyle, attitude, and character. This, however, is not a simple feat for most people. Some will take years to change their habits. Some will do so instantly, and some will never even attempt to change. Why is it that we do not do the things we know we should do? Why do we not make necessary changes, but continue doing those things that inhibit our success? The answer to these questions can be summed up in the principle of pain and pleasure. This principle is the number one cause that prevents people from making significant changes and stifles forward progress in life. No exceptions exist to these two forces behind every human behavior. We either do things to avoid discomfort and pain, or to gain happiness and pleasure. Author and speaker Anthony Robbins, in his audio program Giant Steps, unmistakably illustrates this point. He observed that people go through the same ritual every year around April 15th. People do not file their taxes on time because they want to avoid the pain of preparing all the paperwork. But as April 15th approaches, millions of Americans rush to get their taxes done because it is now more painful not preparing their tax returns. There is a paradox in delaying unpleasant tasks. People attempt to make life easier on the one hand by avoiding unpleasantness, pain, and on the other hand, postponing the task actually increases the unpleasantness since the job still has to be done. In order to gain victory in this arena, we need to employ our minds by associating massive pain with any destructive behavior and great pleasure to every healthy habit. For example, many people link pleasure to alcohol, drugs, overeating, immorality, and lying. So it is no wonder they only fantasize about success. Instead, we need to link immense pleasure to things that are right, pure, noble, lovely, admirable, excellent, and praiseworthy. When we do, success will be inevitable. We create new physical neurological pathways by our habits, those things we do on a continuous basis and that have been pre-programmed in our minds. Whatever we learn to link pain or pleasure to will create our destiny and determine the kind of success we achieve. An unfortunate reality, however, is that most people associate more pleasure to destructive patterns, and thus need to retrain their minds. The advertising industry has mastered this principle because it has been able to get society to associate much pleasure with destructive behaviors relating to alcohol, drugs, sex, and processed foods. Although scientific research now abounds that highlights the disasters of these things, the majority still indulge in them. To change these habits, we must convert our minds. How? By transforming the renewing of your mind. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Be renewed in the spirit of your mind. With God's help, you can remain in perfect peace if you keep your mind focused on the divine. See Romans chapter 12, verse 2, Ephesians chapter 4, verse 23, Isaiah chapter 26, verse 3. When you begin taking the steps later in this book to reprogram your mind, you'll begin to reap the rich rewards of success and winning. Change your mind and change your life. Powerful, positive thinking. Positive thinking will let you do everything better than negative thinking will. Zig Ziglar. In evaluating the major influences on our lives, the most dominant influence has to be the thoughts we allow into our minds. A man cannot be separated from his thoughts because he is what he thinks. His entire being is the complete sum of all his thoughts. As a man thinks in his heart, so is he, is a favorite aphorism that cannot be contested. This tidbit of wisdom is the key to success and gives man the power to create whatever he wills, including success. Because everything we think and do has an effect on our destiny, it behooves the man yearning for success to fill his mind with powerful, positive thinking or thoughts. All we need to do is make the choice. James Allen's timeless classic, As a Man Thinketh, illustrates this mind power when he stated, "The mind is like a beautiful garden, and whatever we sow in this garden is what we reap. Like the weeds in a garden, we must uproot the limiting thoughts that repel success and water our minds with thoughts of joy, peace, strength, and love. Man makes or breaks himself." In the arsenal of our thoughts, we forge the weapons of self-destruction and also mold self-serenity. With the right choice, we will have success, but the wrong choice begets failure. It's all in the mind. We are masters of our thoughts, molders of character, and shapers of condition, environment, and destiny. Positive thinking will not solve everything, but it will do everything that negative thinking will not. Dr. Norman Vincent Peale's power of positive thinking shows the true value of our thoughts. He notes that positive thinking can help us believe in ourselves, have peace within, have constant energy, have power, be happy, get the best, be victorious, break the worry habit, solve personal problems, be healthy, get along with people, and enjoy much success. This principle is so profound that a study in the journal Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences of the United States of America links negative brain activity with a weakened immune system. Scientists say that having negative thoughts really could make us more illness-prone. Frankly, negative thoughts make you sick. They've also noted that pessimists, individuals assessed as more sensitive to negative events, show more activity in a part of the brain called the prefrontal cortex. True success cannot be housed in a polluted or negative mind. To be successful, we need to have a successful mind. Dr. Richard Davidson, University of Wisconsin-Madison, led a research project that involved studying 52 people with high levels of brain activity in this region linked to negative thoughts, and made this comment. Emotions play an important role in modulating bodily systems that influence our health. We turn to the brain to understand the mechanisms by which the mind influences the body. We can if we think. The subconscious mind is like a tape player. Until you change the tape, it will not change. Bruce Lipton. It was James Allen who said, "Thoughts of doubt and fear can never accomplish anything. They always lead to failure. If it's to be, it's up to me. And if you can think it, you can achieve it," are both positive affirmations to attract success and are crystal truths. Whenever we fully apply our minds to a particular thing, we can convert it to reality. Absolutely anything. Brian Tracy gave 2 powerful secrets associated with our minds in his bestseller, 21 Success Secrets of Self-Made Millionaires, which are worthy of notice. First, we need to develop a clear sense of direction by crystallizing our goals on paper, and we do this by thinking, talking, and visualizing our goals. Brian stated that whatever people think about most of the time grows and increases in their lives, because they become what they think about most of the time. Second, we are to dedicate ourselves to lifelong learning. This exercises our mental muscles, much like physical activity exercises the body's muscles. He claims there is no obstacle we cannot solve and no goal we cannot reach by applying our mind to our situation. Vic Johnson, in his weekly e-meditation, As a Man Thinketh, shows the flip side of what we can do if we but only think it. He admonishes us that our personal thoughts can do severe damage to our individual world. For example, if we spend excessive amounts of time fearing a particular thing or future event, many times that very fear may befall us. In such a situation, we ought not to throw up our hands in hopelessness, because, in reality, we are responsible for our problems. To get to this degenerated level, Bob Proctor says that the process begins first with a thought of doubt, which causes an emotion of fear, which manifests itself physically as anxiety. Anxiety robs us of our power, our energy, and our purpose. Severe anxiety can even undermine our health and is the direct result of doubtful thoughts. No one can dislodge the power of thought on our actions. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. James chapter 4, verse 8. Success will elude the man devoid of mental stability. Therefore, a person must begin applying this principle to his or her value system and everyday life. Seven keys to reprogram your mind for success and abundance. If you're going to worry about what people say, you're never going to make progress. Joseph Murray. Let's get practical so you can win now. What follows is the prescription to applying this number one secret ingredient so you can enjoy instant success and abundance sooner rather than later. It will work if you work it. We were created to have free will and choice, so exercise your liberty to enjoy the good life. Choose now to be who and what you want to be. No one will force you. It's all up to you. There are some who wouldn't take responsibility. They reason, if God wanted me to be really successful, why doesn't He just make me so? Why doesn't He just do it for me? I guess it may not be His will. Don't fall for that victim mindset, my friend. If that were the case, then why doesn't God brush your teeth, comb your hair, tie your shoelaces, pick up the spoon to feed you, and use the bathroom for you? There are some things you must do for yourself. There's no way around that. God will not do those basic things for you since He has equipped you to do them. Likewise, principles of success are often conditional. There are conditions to their attainment. Take action. Implement the secrets, and you will have the results. Do your part, and the law will fulfill its part. Cooperate and win. Violate and lose. What follows is a program to recondition the way you think and act. It's important because the current state of your mind is producing habits which you now hate. You see, your thoughts influence your words, which decide your actions, which create your habits, which form your character, which determine your destiny. The battle is for the mind. If you allow your mind to be programmed with all the negativity and filth out there, then there's no way you can ever win battles and experience success. However, if you can win on the mental battlefield, then victory is certain. Some people keep failing because they're trying to change habits. They see a weak spot in their character, and they set out to change it, only to see another problem area pop up, and then another until utter frustration takes over. That's putting out fires. That's not getting to the root cause of the problem, the source of the fire. If the output is bad, don't focus all your energies trying to fix the output. If the results you're getting are not what you expected, don't try harder to improve the end results. If you want to do good, but keep doing bad, then trying harder would only make it worse, because effort is the reason you cannot do the good you need to do. There's a popular saying that goes something like, garbage in, garbage out. It is generally used as a negative connotation, and rightly so. However, we can add to this saying and learn a powerful system for winning in every area of life. Instead, how about saying input equals output? What you put in is what you get out. Truth in, truth out. Success in, success out. Get the point? Based on this reasoning, if the output you're getting is unacceptable, instead of consistent wins, you somehow attract more failures and mediocrity, things you dislike. Then, change the input. If your behavior is not commensurate with that of a true winner, then don't just seek behavior modification. That's not the problem. Change the input. If you really want transformation, you must change your information. Why do you think someone commits a criminal act? If he or she is brought to trial, what will the court try to figure out? The lawyer will try to figure out why this person did what they did. What were they thinking? Why would this information be important to the court? Because of the principle, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. Proverbs chapter 23, verse 7. If he thinks evil in his heart, his words and actions will be evil. He's just acting out what was in his mind already, the motives. When, then, should this person have been arrested for their crime? When was the crime actually committed? Did they commit the crime the moment it was carried out? Certainly not. The crime was committed before the physical act took place. They had criminal tendencies before doing the criminal act. That could have been a long time or a short time. This is what legal folks call premeditated acts. So, if the person premeditated the crime, then the crime already took place before the physical act. It took place in their mind. That's why the master teacher taught, "There is nothing from without a man that entering into him can defile him. But the things which come out of him, those are they that defile the man." When asked the meaning of the parable, he said, "From within, out of the heart, mind, of men, proceed evil thoughts, adulteries, illicit sex, murders, thefts, greediness, wickedness, deceit, unbridled lust, envy, blasphemy, pride, foolishness. All these evil things come from within and defile the man." See Mark chapter 7, verses 15 through 23. You can substitute those words for anything you don't like. Failure, laziness, procrastination, cheating, etc. The same thing applies to you and me. You are not a hypocrite when you do double-faced acts. You were already a hypocrite in your heart or mind. What people see is a mere reflection of what's taking place in your heart, mind. That's why the saying, "actions speak louder than words," weighs a ton of truth. The secret principle for transformation was put in another way by the Apostle Paul. In Romans chapter 12, verse 2, he taught, "Be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." Notice, he did not say to be transformed by renewing your behavior or habits. That's almost an impossibility, and may work for a time, but most likely will not stick for the long run. That's why many people who get out of debt or win the lottery end up going back into debt quickly or return to their poor financial habits. They never changed their money mindset. If you desire lasting transformation, my friend, then let's begin with the mind and take back your citadel for winning the game of life. If you are going to change your lifestyle and be free from attracting all the things you don't want, you must reprogram your mind. You're now ready to be renewed in the spirit of your mind with this extreme mind makeover plan below. To be transformed means to renovate, change, alter, revamp, and restore your old way of thinking into the way of divine thoughts, the magnet for all success. This is all made possible because of our brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections, a process otherwise known as neuroplasticity. Nerve cells in the brain alter their activities in response to new situations, new information, or to changes in their environment, internally and externally. Here's how to reprogram your mind in 7 simple steps. 1. Fill your mind with the good and inspiring. To become wise, you need wisdom, what Mortimer Adler calls the goods of the mind. Not much of what people put into their brains fits that description. Upon waking each morning, be sure to read, watch, and/or listen to inspiring material like scripture, motivation, and success books. Do this before anything else, because whatever you behold first in the morning conditions you for the day. 2. Meditate daily on success principles. When you read, watch, or listen to scripture and inspiring materials from step number 1, think about it. Ponder what is really being said to you personally. How can you apply it? How can you share it? How will you change in light of what you've seen, read, and heard? Claim its blessings. Become one with the content. Keep this book of the law always on your lips. Meditate on it day and night, so that you may be careful to do everything written in it. Then you will be prosperous and successful. See Joshua chapter 1, verse 8. Delight in the law of the Lord, and meditate on his law day and night. If you do, you will be like a tree planted by streams of water, which always yields its fruit in season, and whose leaf does not wither. Whatever you do will prosper. See Psalm 1, verses 2 and 3. 3. Practice success principles. Daily live out what you learn during your meditation and conditioning time. Practice, they say, makes perfect. Could that be the reason you're still not as successful as you want to be? These principles promise much abundance, but if you don't apply the instructions, then how can you experience the divine blessings? Create your to-do list of actions for the day, and only work on those things that directly move you towards achieving your goals. Blessed are those who honor the Lord, who find great delight in his commands. Their children will be mighty in the land. The generation of the upright will be blessed. Wealth and riches are in their houses, and their righteousness endures forever. See Psalm 112. Now that you know these things, you will be blessed if you do them. See John chapter 13, verse 17. 4. Memorize success principles. The more you get the word into your heart and mind, the stronger you will be. The word is your mental, emotional, and spiritual food, so commit key passages and quotations to memory. They will come in handy in the next step. Start with bite-sized phrases, sentences, and paragraphs that speak to your needs: health, protection, peace, provision, prosperity, faith, forgiveness, etc. That way, whenever you get into a tough spot, you can recall these empowering thoughts and change your physiology and mindset. As you get better at strengthening your brain muscle with this technique, your mind will never be the same. Whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, If anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about, memorize such things. See Philippians chapter 4, verse 8. 5. Speak and sing to uplift your spirit. Every day, recite, out loud preferably, those principles you've memorized. Say them like affirmations with confident conviction. This is a great way to encourage yourself and improve your self-worth and mood. Speak the way you want to be, and the time will come when you will be the way you speak. While it is true that words express thoughts, it is also true that thoughts follow words. If we would give more expression to our faith, rejoice more in the blessings that we know we have, the great mercy and love of God, we should have more faith and greater joy. The Ministry of Healing, pages 252 and 253. Speaking to yourselves in psalms and hymns and spiritual songs, singing and making melody in your heart to the Lord, giving thanks always for all things unto God. Ephesians chapter 5, verses 19 and 20. 6. Check all negativity against those success principles. Guard well the avenues to your heart. Every thought that comes to mind should not dwell in the mind, nor find expression in your words and actions. Truth and error cannot live harmoniously in your brain. Ask yourself, how does this thought line up with the divine success principles I've been learning and now know? Does this thought fit me as a blessed child of the King of the universe? Would my future super-successful self approve of this thought? Bring every thought into subjection to the divine will. If the thought is not full of wisdom, reject it, and dwell only on that which is pleasant, positive, useful, true, inspiring, and for your good. 7. Change the quality of your information. You can't keep putting the same old stuff in and expect to get different results. If you truly want transformation, then you must change the quality of your information. Since negative in equals negative out, then put positive in, and you should get positive out. Success in, success out. Quality in, quality out. Joy and peace in, joy and peace out. Think the way you want to be, and the day will come when you will be the way you think. No more junk. Starting today, only read, watch, listen, speak, and think what is wholesome and inspiring. If you do, you'll achieve your goals faster and have instant success and abundance in any area of your life. Final thoughts. It's not over until you win. Les Brown. The road to success is not an arduous one, but it is one of mental reevaluation, rejuvenation, and restoration. You can have all the success you desire if you'll just reprogram your mind to make it strong and in harmony with the laws of success and abundance. To gain more friends, be friendly. To attract power, carry yourself as powerful. To be successful, think and act successfully by applying these precious principles. The traveler on this journey must adopt a new belief system to be able to make good decisions. In order to attain greatness, procrastination must be laid to rest. as Lord Chesterfield famously remarked. Know the value of time. Snatch, seize, and enjoy every moment of it. No idleness, no laziness, no procrastination. Never put off till tomorrow what you can do today. When you begin linking happiness and pleasure to attitudes and behaviors of success, you may then lay hold of your quest. Winning back your mind is the key to great achievements. Once you've incorporated these principles into the faculty of your mind, you can now think whatever you wish and transmute it into the reality by taking consistent action in the direction of your goals. The law of repetition and association states, what we continually put into our mind is what we will get out of it. The law of success and the mind makes it possible for anyone, including you, to accomplish your loftiest aspirations in harmony with the laws of the universe. Once this reprogramming takes place, your only job going forward is to maintain the regimen and focus on daily actions. Do the work and you'll get the results. Period. As a next step, read and listen to Power-Packed Spiritual Affirmations, 21 quick and powerful declarations to supercharge your mind and body for daily success. It will help you to quickly reprogram your mind to automatically attract the blessings and miracles you desire, and you'll find it easier to win at achieving your goals. I now leave you with this final thought from Mind, Character, and Personality, pages 100 and 101. Mental culture is what we as a people need and must have in order to meet the demands of time. Poverty, humble origin, and unfavorable surroundings need not prevent the cultivation of the mind. The mental faculties must be kept under the control of the will. It is a law of the mind that it will narrow or expand to the dimensions of the things with which it becomes familiar. This has been Win Now, the #1 secret ingredient to instant success in any area of your life. Written by D.R. Fortune. Narrated by J. Spalding. Copyright 2018 by D.R. Fortune. Production copyright by D.R. Fortune.